Hello and welcome to Tales from Nerd. I'm your host, Random Nerd slash Kevin, and this is the weekly podcast where I talk about the comics that are being released on September 4th, because August just ended. And as I'm filming this, it's Labor Day? Yeah, it's Labor Day. I think. It's Labor Day. All right, it's Labor Day. So it's Labor Day as I'm filming this. So, after last week's books, I think this week should be a little bit lighter, in my opinion, because last week was 30 books. 30 books. That's it was a lot of books last week. So, as you can see behind me, I'm nowhere near done with my books, and yeah. Okay, so everything's done, and okay, so everything's done. The books are done. I'm not done, but I've got all the books here for this week, and we're gonna go with the first book, which is Absolute Carnage, Scream number 2, written by Cullen Bunn, and art by Gerardo Sandoval, and the price point is $3.99. And this is the description of the book. Patricia Robertson may know symbiote, but nothing could have ever prepared her for their god. No. With Carnage building strength called the symbiote god to Earth, Patricia must harness the power of the Scream symbiote. Can Scream withstand the draw of Null, or are they doomed to be another casualty? Absolute Carnage Scream number 2 is just a tie to Absolute Carnage. You don't need to pick up the book, but if you really want to know, like, deep, sometimes tie-ins go well with the story, sometimes not. But it's written by Cullen Bunn, so it might be pretty good. I don't know, because I haven't written it. I haven't read issue 1 yet. As you can see behind me, I'm still not done. I'm 6 weeks behind the comics, but I'm reading. I'm trying to catch up. It's just hard when you have lots to do. But this should be done I should be done in like 2-3 weeks reading. But Absolute Carnage, Scream number 2, it's only a 3-issue mini, so you might get it with another book. It's not a good jumping on point. So unfortunately, Absolute Carnage number 2, Scream number 2 is not a good jumping on point. But we're going to move on to the next book, which is Absolute Carnage, Symbiote, Spider-Man number 1, written by Peter David, art by Francesco Mobili, and the price is $4.99. And now this is a one-shot, so there's no second issue. So if you really want to know this story, it's short. But the price is $4.99. If I didn't mention it, we are going to go to the description, which is this: an untold tale of symbiote hosts from yesteryear. During its first visit to New York City, the alien symbiote that would come to be known as Venom bonded to a host that wasn't Spider-Man or Eddie Brock. Face front, true believers, as a mysterious man meets his identity at the hands of Carnage. This is just one shot, so Peter David. Have I read anything with Peter David? The cover is pretty cool. It's pretty decent. Peter David has written Avengers vs. X-Men, Action Comics Weekly, All New X Factor, Amazing Spider-Man. So he has a good resume. So I'm still picking it up because one shot, and I pick up every tie-in for a book because I'm stupid when it comes to comics. But do you really need to pick it up? No. I guess just wait for the trade until like all this Absolute Carnage event is over. You can pick up the trade, which will probably just be mixtures of other books. But we're gonna move on to the next book, which is Agents of Atlas number 2, written Agent of Atlas number 2, written by Greg Pak, art by Nico Leone. The price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book: Pandemonium in Pan. Through the stunning science, magic, teleportation tech, the visually named Isaac Akita has connected slices of neighborhoods from a dozen different Asian cities in the cross-Asian portal city of Pan. Is this a new utopia for utopia? Is this new utopia a glorious Pan-Asian multicultural dream, free trade mecca, and tourism experience, or is it a violation of hundreds of local international laws, a magnet for monsters and maniacs, and a dangerous social experiment about to explode? Ominous Chill and the Agents of Atlas as Pan's new protectors are about to find out. Also, love is in the air. Which two agents are about to melt the ice? Agent of Atlas is a 5-issue mini. It's just, I think they're just testing out the water. But this is just a 5-issue mini, so you could wait, or you could pick up issue 1, which did come out like a month ago in July. So it is like a 4 or 5-issue mini. But you really don't need to pick this up if you're not interested in any characters that appear in this book. Just Amadeus Cho, Silk, I forget who else. And yeah, just a couple other characters that I don't know much. But yeah, if you want to read them, I guess issue 1 would be your jumping on point. After issue 3, it's not a good jumping on point because at that point it's already in the middle of the storyline. If you want to jump on there, that's your final jumping on point. And issue 4 is like, I really don't have to pick up this book. But if you're interested in new Agents of Atlas, I would say pick up issue 1 and issue 2 when you go to the comic book store on Wednesday. We're going to go to the next book, which is Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, issue 5. Written by the great James Tynion IV. Art by Freddie E. Williams II. And the price point is $3.99 as well. And this is the description. Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles think they figured out how to tear apart Krang's combined multiverse and restore their reality. But Krang has planned this moment for years. With his robot army, he's ready to destroy them all. And if Batman can't remember the last missing piece in his life, there may be no hope left. Now, I am enjoying Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think I'm on issue 3, so I'm catching up. So issue 4, I think, is like right in this pile. But I'm enjoying it, and this is the last Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. James Tynion IV did confirm that this is the final story arc that he's going to write for these characters. There might be a 4th one, but it's not going to be written by him. I just like it. It's a good multiverse story that involves the Ninja Turtles and Batman. Batman's lore interwoven into the Ninja Turtles lore as well. It's good. It's a good story. Not good jumping off point, unfortunately. This will be a wait for the trade book. So once the book is done in issue 6, there will be a trade that it's an easy pick. It'll be a little bit cheaper as well to buy. But yeah, so I would wait for a trade for this one. Now, we're going to go to the next book, which is Batman vs. Ra's al Ghul #1. Written by Neil Adams and art by Neil Adams. Now, the price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. Gotham City is under siege by terrorists, and Batman is determined to find the source. But when Boston Brand tries to intervene, he discovers even more disturbing and deadly truth. The terrorists are led by an inhuman monster. Ra's al Ghul has volunteered to his own private security force to aid the GCPD, and now they're the only thing standing between the nuclear terror and the townspeople. But Al Ghul's true goal is hidden from everyone's eyes. He will destroy the city and kill Batman, this time for good. Watching in horror is Bruce Wayne. So this book is a 6-issue mini, and it's written by Neil Adams. Neil Adams is the legendary writer for Batman. He's also doing the art for this book. So if you want to jump on Batman right now, I'd say this is your #1 book to pick up if you're going to the comic book store. If you're picking up, want to read Batman, and this will feel like an old Batman story as well with Ra's al Ghul, please, I'm picking this book up. Just because Neil Adams' name is on it, I'm like, yes. And he's doing the art, yes. So this book I'm looking forward to. I recommend it. This is your jumping on point as well. And also, if you like it, you could be like, oh, I could create a pull list, and I could. Well, no, you need more books for a pull list, but this book I am heavily excited for. But yes, this is all my top picks. We're gonna move on to the next book, which is Champions number 9, which written by Jim Zub and art by Stephen Cummings, and this is a description of the book. Oh, and the price is $3.99, and we're gonna move on to the description of the book, which is who has betrayed the champions and who can they trust? Miles Morales returns, but will it be in time to save his friends? And I think this is a new storyline, if I remember, because the book is ending in issue 10. So if you really don't want to pick up Champions, you don't have to. I think it just ended the storyline with Champions number 8 with Nova getting his helmet back because he's becoming Nova again. This one is just I think it's a one shot or like one-off story, and then maybe the other one's another one-off story. But Champions number 10 is the end of the book. Champions number 9 is it's the book number 9 is the book before it ends. If you enjoyed Champions, pick it up. If you were like, I don't want to read this and then I want to go back, you could pick up the trade. But it's very sad Champions is ending. I followed Champions back in 2016. So I've been reading Champions since it began when it was a monthly series. So it's a little sad to my heart that it's ending, especially how Jim Zub has written these characters for so long now. Because originally he wasn't the original writer, I forget who, but he made the story a little bit better. But it's very sad that it's ending. But Champions is on your pull, is on your list you want to pick up. We'll see. Now we're gonna move on to the next book, which is a tie-in book. DC's A Good Day to Die number 1, written by Tom Taylor, art by Derek Robertson and Laura Braga. The price point is $4.99, so this is a tie-in to the DC's book right now. This is the only tie-in to the DC's book, but this is the description of the book. Oh, also, it's $4.99 if I didn't mention it. I will do that a lot, where I'll be like, if I forgot to mention, I will say the price, because last episode while I was reviewing the footage, I forgot to say the price for a lot of the books. But if you're watching the video, yeah, I usually put it right next to the comic how much it costs. But this is the description. While the mainstays of the Justice League, Superman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman battle the worldwide infection in the pages of DC's, a group of other heroes work to stop the impending apocalypse, no matter who they have to kill. Mr. Terrific assembles a motley group of surviving heroes, including Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, John Constantine, Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold, as they attempt to fight back against the tide of death. Can this ragtag group save the world where the Justice League has thus far failed? Sorry, I had a little weird pause. This is weird because it's a tie-in. Now, if you're not reading DC's and you're saying, what is DC's? If this description doesn't help, basically DC's is zombies invade the DC universe, basically. And it's a different way they do it. It's through tech, basically. And if you look at your screen, if I look at my phone right now, I will turn to a zombie. So if you look at any tech, you are infected. And you start killing everyone. And people are getting more infected. I want to say yes, pick it up. But if you're not reading DC's, you don't need to pick it up. But if you're on the road to DC's, pick it up. I'm loving what Tom Taylor has done. He's a fantastic writer, and I really can't wait for this book to come out. We're going to move on to the next book, which is Deathstroke number 47, written by Christopher Priest, art by Cam Smith, art by Fernando Pasarin, and the price is $3.99. And this is the description of the book. After being pronounced dead, Slade Wilson awakens in his daughter's apartment with no memory of how he got there. Meanwhile, Jericho's newly discovered powers continue to escalate, severing the now godlike Joseph from his own humanity. Will absolute power corrupt Deathstroke's good son? Now, I think this is a new storyline. Book 2, 7 Doors. I think it is a new storyline. Because I think it is part of the new storyline. If not, I will let you know when it comes out again. But I do like Deathstroke, and Christopher Priest is really the only guy who stayed on Deathstroke all this time since Rebirth. Because it went to DC Universe, it went from Rebirth to DC Universe to whatever imprint they're trying to promote now. As I'm seeing it, it's just DC. So I do enjoy what they're doing, Deathstroke. Of course, Deathstroke's not going to stay dead for long because he's Deathstroke. He's a mainstay for comics forever. He's the big bad for the Teen Titans. He's the big bad for Justice League. So it's kind of hard to not. It's harder to kill Deathstroke and not make him come back. Also, Christopher Priest, he's going to have a good explanation of how Deathstroke comes back. So, Deathstroke is on my list. And we're going to move on to the next book, which is Doom Patrol, Way of the Worlds, number 3, written by Gerard Way, art and Jeremy Lambert, and art by Evan Shanner. The price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. Special 287th anniversary issue. Someone in the city of Goliath is killing cops. Robot cops, that is. And it's up to Doom Patrol Detective Agency to find out who, but their only clues are pages torn from a pulp paperback littering the streets of their neo-noir nightmare of a city. The secret of Goliath will die along with their hope of escape unless the team can band together once again, just like the old days. Now, I'm going to say this. I will admit, I read Doom Patrol number 1, Doom Patrol Way of the Worlds number 1, and it is not reader-friendly. It's a continuation to the old Doom Patrol series that, kind of finished, and Gerard Way is continuing that book, but it's just, I read it, I'm like, please, as I read it, it says, please read this. Read the old Doom Patrol series. I'm like, oh, this is not reader friendly. Oh no. When that happens, that worries me. But if you want to really read Doom Patrol, pick up issue 1, Doom Patrol Way of the Worlds number 1. I would say not a good recommendation. I thought it was going to be reader friendly. It is not, unfortunately. But if you really want to read Doom Patrol, that's where you want to start. Unfortunately, you want to read more, you're going to have to go backtrack of that story. And hopefully that story does backtrack more stories. But I do like the weird, trippy art style. So I will give it that. Now we're going to move on to the next book, which is, yes, Doomsday Clock number 11. Written by Jeff Johns and art by Gary Frank. And the price is $3.99. The critically acclaimed series by the renowned team of writer Jeff Johns and artist Gary Frank marches towards its conclusion in this penultimate issue. The truth behind Rebirth is revealed as Batman searches for the one person he believes can help him save the world, Rorschach. Now, this book is freaking phenomenal. So, I love this book, and it's been delayed multiple times. Sorry. It's been delayed multiple times. This was supposed to end, I think it was supposed to end 2018. It started November 2017. It's supposed to end November 2018. But it's been delayed, and it looks like it's ending on 2 years. Because this is coming out September, and there are trades coming out for this book in November. So the next issue has to come out in like October. But this book has been delayed, and then also there was news of Shazam being delayed once again. So DC, let me ask you this. What the hell are you doing with your books written by Jeff Johns? I know Jeff Johns is writing this stuff. I know he has it concluded. Probably Dan Dio is saying like, I don't like, push it aside, keep pushing it aside. Because my God, as fantastic as this book is, and let me say this, it is fantastic, it is phenomenal, it is one of the best comics ever, it's taking too long. This book has taken almost 2 years to end, and unfortunately, I want answers to Rebirth, why Wally was erased, why people's lives were 5 years taken away from them. But I backtrack. Doomsday Clock, hard to jump on. You have to wait for a trade, unfortunately. But if you really want to read Doomsday Clock, go digitally. Buy issue 1 through 11, And there you go. Because you can buy these books digitally. I like physical books, as I said before, but that is just me. Is Doomsday Clock number 11 a good jumping on point? No. But we're going to move on to the next book, which is Fantastic Four number 14, written by Dan Slott, art by Paco Medina, and the price point is $3.99. And this is the description of the book. Point of origin begins. One of Reed Richards' biggest regrets leads to a voyage to the one place in the universe that the Fantastic Four have never been. A bold new chapter into the heart and the start of the Marvel Universe, and it all begins here. Don't you dare miss this one. So this is a good jumping on point because this is a new storyline. So if you really want to say, I really want to read Fantastic Four, but I don't want to pick up issue 1, you can pick up issue 14. And if you like how Dan Slott is writing it, you can backtrack it. You can read the series. I'm liking what Dan Slott's doing. Not everyone likes it. The previous storyline, I think, had Immortal Hulk in it. And let me say this, anything with Immortal Hulk, I like. Because Immortal Hulk is freaking awesome. But, yeah. Good jumping on point. Now we're going to move on to the next book, which is Ghost Spider Annual number 1, written by Vita Ayala and art by Pepe Perez. Not Pepe Perez, Pere Perez. And the price point is $4.99. And this is the description of the book. Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider battles for her life in Murder World. Gwen Stacy is trying to balance her social life with her hero life in the 616. But what will she do when she comes face to face with Arcade's Murder World? It's a tower of terror as Gwen takes on some of the most classic and deadly villains of the Marvel Universe. Vita Ayala, writer of Shuri and Prisoner X, and Pere Perez, artist of Uncanny X-Men and Rogue and Gambit, bring the Ghost Spider action Ghost Spider action in the mighty Marvel manner. See, this is where it gets a bit tricky because we just had issue 1 of Ghost Spider, and this is dealing with Acts of Evil, and I read part 1 with Punisher. I still don't know what Acts of Evil is. If you want to jump on Ghost Spider, you pick up issue 1 because last week issue 1 did just come out, and I guess you could pick this up. But if you really want to pick one of the 2 books, you just pick the regular number 1 that's a new series. Unfortunately, I will pick this up because again, when it comes to stuff, to comics, I will buy not everything, but I will buy most of it. We're gonna move on to the next book. We only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books left. We got 8 books left, and now, okay, Green Lantern number 11, written by Grant Morrison and art by Liam Sharp. The price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. On the edge of reality, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Star Sapphire face death by the Power Ring firing squad. Yes, Hal and Carol Ferris reunite, sort of, as they fight their way out of the improbable turn of events of their previous issue. In fact, with what happens next issue, they might not want to survive this one. The thing about Grant Morrison is it's very cosmic-y and very weird, and you have to read from the beginning because Grant Morrison, he's a really good writer, but my god, his stuff is trippy and he's very wordy. It's still good, but if you want to read Green Lantern, you gotta have to read issue 1 because it's really a good jumping on point. But it's a very weird, trippy world. Trust me, anything Grant Morrison writes is like you'll be like, what? What am I reading? It's good, but it's like, what am I reading? Okay, but we're gonna move on to the next book, which is House of X number 4, written by Jonathan Hickman and art by Pepe Larraz and Marty Garcia. And the price point is $4.99. And this is the description of the book. Xavier's dreams turn deadly for some of his students as they fight back against the humans' plan to eliminate them. Superstar writer Jonathan Hickman continues reshaping his X-Men universe alongside with Young Gun artist Pepe Larraz. The future of the X-Men begin here. That's really all the description I get. But from what people are telling me, it's really good, and I'm guessing they really don't want to give a description except on issue 6. But my God, what people are saying of this book, it's really good, and I really can't wait when I catch up to it. Actually, am I catching up to it? No, I'm not catching up to it. I think this is the pile that has House of X or Powers of X. One of the two. I'll eventually catch up, then I'll let you know. But yeah, actually, Powers of X and House of X are selling out so quick. I went to go pick up the recent issue. Luckily, it was on my pull list. I was going through my pull list. I was like, where's House of X? It's in the H section. And I look in the corner where the X-Men books are. I'm like, they sold out. And then I look, it's all the way in the back of the pull list. I'm like, oh, thank God. But like, still, it's selling out in my comic book shop a lot. So if you really want to pick up House of X, pick it up when the comic shop opens. Just letting you know. But we're going to move on to the next book, which is the Immortal Hulk number 23, written by Al Ewing and art by Joe Bennett. Al Ewing, I thank you for giving me the greatest Hulk book ever. $3.99, and this is the description of the book. The war has come home, and Shadow Base is the battleground. The stage is set for the final confrontation between the new Abomination and the Immortal Hulk. I think I'm on issue 21 of the Immortal Hulk, or 20. I can figure out right now. But Immortal Hulk is freaking phenomenal. It's so good. Yeah, I was in 21, so I'm not too far ahead. I'm 2 issues behind. But Immortal Hulk, if you want a real good Hulk book, read Immortal Hulk, especially the trade. Or you could read the director's cut, which is the comic, and you get the pencil art. You pay a little bit extra, but trust me, the Immortal Hulk is really good. If you want, pick up the trade. What are you doing? Pick up the trade. It's still phenomenal. But we're going to move on to the next book, which is Justice League number 31. Written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV. Art by Jorge Jimenez. And the price is $3.99. And this is the description of the book. The Justice Doom War Part 2. The culmination of Lex Luthor's plan hinges on his beating the Justice League to the prize, ratcheting up the peril as the year of the villain continues. The totality has shattered, and its pieces have tossed across space and time. Thus, the Justice League must also split apart, forming 3 search teams to comb the past, present, and future to recombine the totality before the Legion of Doom can get its villainous hands on the cosmic weapon. What allies will our heroes find in these other timelines? In the future, it's the last boy on Earth, Kamandi. But in the past, there are familiar faces of the Justice Society of America. Now, if you want to read Justice League right now, you can read issue 30 to get an idea how the book is, and then pick up this one, because that's really your jumping off point. But if you really want to read Justice League like from the very beginning, you read up the trade, and then you go up into that. But let me say this, what they're doing is phenomenal. I'm on issue 28 with Apex Lex, and holy crap, I am so ready to what Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV are trying to do with this book. But Justice League number 30 and 31, pick it up at the comic book shop. Trust me, it's really good. We're going to move on to the next book, which is Legion of Superheroes Millennium number 1, written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Andrea Sorrentino, and by Jim Lee as well. Oh, crap. And Dustin Nugent and Andre Lima Arulo. Wow, we're getting like 3 artists. It is a 2-issue book, so Superman has been teasing the Legion of Superheroes recently in the Superman 14, because there's a little Legion emblem in the book. But yeah, the price point is $4.99, and this is the description of the book. Brought to you by some of the comic's greatest talents, this epic story spans a course of 1,000 years, and for the first time, connects all of DC's future timelines, starring the unlikeliest of DC heroes as she learns to cope with newfound immortality and roams through the desperate societies of Batman, Batman Beyond, Kamandi, and Tommy Tomorrow, wrestling with her own inner demons and desperately trying to find her purpose in an ever-changing world. Do not miss this truly unique take on tomorrow's DC universe, all leading up to a special launch on the Millennium. Now, the thing is, Brian Michael Bendis, to be honest, I don't know how he's doing this. I really don't want to lead you to something. If you love the Legion of Superheroes, if you watch the cartoon show back in 2003 to 2004, I'm like, yeah. But if you never heard of them, you don't need to pick up this book. But if you're reading Superman, they are teasing this. So if you want to read that, you can pick it up. It's there, but you don't have to. But we're going to move on to the next book, which is Old Man Quill number 9, written by Ethan Sachs and art by Robert Grill. The price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. Quill Smash! Conquered and outnumbered, Peter Quill makes a desperate stand against Gladiator and the brainwashed forces of the Universal Church of Truth. Good thing there are still some toys left in the wasteland, like the Hulkbuster armor. Quill is mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore. Now, Old Man Quill is really cool. It's awesome, but it is not a good jumping on point, unfortunately. And after the revelation on issue 7, which I read, I'm like, Ethan Sachs, you beautiful, beautiful bastard. I really can't wait for more. I really can't, to be honest. And it's a good book, but unfortunately, you have to read issue 1, and issue 1 will be harder if you're trying to look at physically, but if you're trying to buy it digitally, very easy. But it is those books you can wait for the trade, unfortunately, now. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next book, which is The Punisher number 15, written by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Simon Kurdansky, and Antonio Fabella, and Corey Petit, and Virtual Calligraphy, and Anthony Gambino. And that's all the artists. The price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. War on the Streets, Part 4, The Battle of New York. You can't fight City Hall unless, of course, you're Frank Castle, but he won't fight alone. Unfortunately, Zemo got his new Thunderbolts, and they're ready for war. Now, where Punisher is leading this, it's Part 4. I'm in part what? I'm in part 1. No, Part 2. I'm in Part 2. Part 3 just got released on August 7th. Not a good jumping on point. Unfortunately, you would have to read what? Issue 15, 14, 13, and 12. You have to read issue 12 to catch on, really. No, not, yeah. Issue 12, what the heck? Oh, no, issue 13, 14, 15, yeah. 13 to catch on, like, where you're going. I don't recommend it, but unfortunately, you kind of have to. But if you don't want to, you're like, I don't want to read this. I think also Punisher is ending. Yeah, Punisher is ending, so in issue 16, unfortunately. So, it's ending. But we're going to move on to the final book. Yes, the final book of the week. Savage Avengers, number 5, written by Gary Duggan, art by Mike Deodato. And this, and the price point is $3.99, and this is the description of the book. The male population of the entire planet, but he will never had to dance with the Savage Avengers. Cullen Gaff is on the verge of defeat, or is that what he wanted? Is that what he wanted the entire time? A Pyrrhic victory lights a fuse that will only burn more of the Marvel Universe. Plus, the Punisher is curious about Crumb. Savage Avengers is good. It's their mystical team. Every character has dealt with magic. Their team is composed with Brother Voodoo, Punisher, Elektra, Venom, Conan, and Wolverine, which, to be honest, everyone's dealt with magic. So, yeah. And that's really all the books coming out this week. Which is the book you're looking forward this week? And let me know in the description. Let me know in Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube comments. And that's it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. They should be the same handle. And I hope you enjoy. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.